Hi there. Day 68. It was a beautiful day. I've walked the dog in the sun again in the forest. I want to talk about time and language learning. Time is ultimately the rarest resource that we have in life. I mean, it's the ultimate non renewable resource. We can't make it. We can make products, we can plant stuff in the ground and it'll grow, but we can't make time. So, when it comes to language learning, we have a limited amount of time available because we have other activities. And so we have to make decisions. Like today, it's a lovely day. My wife went to play golf. So I was tempted to play golf. But then I would get no Korean studying done. We're going out to dinner tonight. So if it weren't for the 90-day challenge, I probably would have gone to play golf. In the end, I studied Korean, and then I also walked the dog for a good hour and a half, which was great. I loved it. So in the end, I was thinking of this. If I'd gone to play golf, I would have enjoyed my golf, and that's all I would have gotten out of it. I would have got the whatever. My wife played 9 holes, so 2.5 hours or so of enjoyment, minus the time driving there and back. And when I drive there with my wife, I can't listen to Korean. So instead, I did probably 3 hours here at home between linking and reading on my iPad. And then I had another hour and a half in the bush while listening and walking the dog. So, and that was enjoyable. Maybe not as enjoyable as playing golf, but enjoyable nevertheless. However, when you look at time, I was just thinking about this. There are those activities which basically the enjoyment or lack of enjoyment is basically all contained in the activity. I guess playing golf, there's some benefit in that you're out in the fresh air. Then there are those activities that may or may not be enjoyable, but they have an effect, an impact, a result, a consequence. That consequence may be good or bad. So I was thinking, anytime you have a decision on how to spend your time, if you choose to spend your time getting drunk, that might be enjoyable, but it might have some rather unpleasant consequences. If you, like in my own case, I find studying flashcards not all that enjoyable. I might do it while I'm waiting, for my food in a restaurant or something. I wouldn't spend an hour or an hour and a half doing flashcards because it's not enjoyable, but it probably has some benefit. I'm not sure of that, but I'm sure it has some benefit. I should say it does have some benefit. I'm not sure how much benefit it has. On the other hand, I'm walking the dog, which is good for the dog and also gets me some brownie points with my son and his family and my wife's mother, my son's mother-in-law. So there's some benefit there. I think anytime you're doing something for someone else, because we operate on the basis of reciprocity, you feel good about doing it, and you're contributing towards a reciprocal favor benefit that those other people are going to bestow back on you. So the dog's benefiting. My wife's mother-in-law is my son's mother-in-law is happy. I'm getting exercise, and I'm listening to Korean. Wow. And by listening to Korean, I know from experience, how much enjoyment I get from watching a movie, and as we all do, watching a movie in a foreign language. My wife was watching curling on TV. It doesn't matter whether it's the Russian girls talking to each other, screaming, or Japanese, Korean. I don't quite get it yet, but I get some words. The Swiss gals. I don't. If they're into Swiss German, I don't understand it, but so that you get all of this benefit. So all I'm saying is, it's difficult to find the time to study a language. I prefer to find things to do that I find enjoyable and that I know are going to give me benefit, such as my focus on listening and reading. And when faced with the decision as to whether I should do the sort of studying activity or do something which is not related to studying, it's always a close call, but certain decisions are made for me. I play my hockey 3 times a week. But the optional ones, it's often a toss-up. So Sometimes I'll say, oh, well, I'll go and play golf, although that may not be high on my agenda. It makes my wife happy, so I get some reciprocal benefit there. So anyway, I was just philosophizing about time and how, we can't stretch time, but we can get more benefit out of our use of time if our activity is both beneficial to us, possibly beneficial to others, and has other long-term benefits that are going to bring benefit later on. Ultimately, what we want is to maximize happiness, not just the immediate short-term happiness, but sort of a constant state of happiness, A, because of what we choose to do at a given point in time, and B, because of what we invest in activities, health, knowledge, helping friends, etc. Being a good citizen, like picking up my dog's poo when I go and walk the dog, in the expectation that others will do the same, so that we're living in a society where people are responsible towards each other, and that makes all of our lives more pleasant. And I think that's a large part of why we contribute to these various social programs that help people who are less lucky, because a lot of us who are better off have just been lucky in most cases. So anyway, thought I'd philosophize well beyond the issue of time, but time is the ultimate scarce, rare commodity when it comes to language learning. So we all have to make decisions as to how we find the time and how we spend the time in our language learning. I hope all of that makes sense. The more I talk, the less sense it makes to me. Bye for now.